He says, have this on your mind. Do you know what you were saved from? Do you know what you were saved into? I can't help but get away from this story that Jared C. Wilson tells in the Gospel Wakefulness book that we have out at a resource library. That he says, imagine you're on the road and your car stalls on a railroad crossing. And you're starting to panic and you're starting to freak out a little bit. And instead of trying to get the keys out, you're just trying to get your seatbelt unbuckled. And you know and you see the train coming and all of a sudden you do get hit, but not by the train, by somebody behind you. And pushes you off the track and takes your place. And the train crumbles the truck behind you. And you get out of your car and you're on the trunk and you're sitting overwhelmed by the tragedy that almost happened. And all of a sudden you hear a whimper in the trunk. And you remember before you left the house that your children were playing hide and seek and your one boy decided to hop in the trunk. And you open the trunk and you see your baby boy and you see that no damage was done. See, you were grateful before as you got out of your car, and now at that moment, you are ever more grateful, and you will never be the same because of that moment, because your baby boy is safe, not harmed. And that feeling of gratitude is how we should feel about what Christ has done in us, because he pushed us off the tracks. In our place, he stood so that he can get rammed by the train where we should have been. He took the punishment on our behalf. He took us from death to life by taking our place and lived a life we never could, died the death that we deserved. Jesus took the wrath of God on himself so we didn't have to. He saved us from slavery and into freedom. And that's why, folks, that's why it's Jesus plus nothing equals everything. Not just because it's a fancy equation that we came up with off the top of our head. We didn't even come up with it. But because he saved us. He saved us. Do you know what you've been saved from? Paul's assuming we do. And we are saying here as a church, at Plymouth Community Church, that Jesus is either your everything or is your nothing. Jesus is either your everything here or is your nothing. There isn't an in-between. It would have been like this person who got out of their car after being saved from the tracks, getting out of the car, finding their baby boy in the trunk who was unharmed, and saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Okay? Or like this, you walk up to the Grand Canyon, and who has been to the Grand Canyon here? I'm 100% sure your reaction when you stepped up to the Grand Canyon wasn't, I thought it was a little bit bigger than this. Or, I've seen better craters in my life. No. What'd you do when you walked up to the Grand Canyon? Oh my word. That is way bigger and better than I ever could have imagined. Or you stand in any mountain range or any creation that God has created that's just a wonder, and you don't say, that's okay, I'll pass. No, it sparks in you this emotional response. Some of you probably cried. Some of you probably pulled out your phones and lived through that moment through your phone, and that's okay too, because you wanted to take it with you so you can relive the beauty of God's creation. But we don't walk away when Jesus has saved you, when we were dead, and then Christ made us alive. You don't walk away saying, that's okay. You walk away saying, I am new and I'm never going to live my life like I was before. If this life isn't about you and it's about Christ, please go all in and live a life of radical freedom. I want you to know that this church is for everyone. Hear that this church is for everyone, that we welcome one another as Christ has welcomed us. That the biggest sinner that I know in my life is me. That I'm the chief sinner. So for me to not welcome you is for me to say that I'm entitled to something, and I'm not entitled. Well, you know what I'm entitled to? I'm entitled to death. But I've been given life. And not just life. I get to celebrate Father's Day today. Come on. Yeah. 7 years, I haven't been able to do that. So I've been a gift of a life, not just a little life, just an extravagant life with my beautiful bride. And so this is where we're at here. I want you to know that we're not playing 50-50. Not playing this Christianese ball game here where we're sitting on the bench. We're in the game. Can't even read my notes now. If you're looking for a church that preaches the message of Jesus as an add-on to your already good life, this isn't the place. This isn't the place. Jesus is our life, not an add-on. See, we're not playing this self-salvation project here. We're all in for the name of Christ. And we're going to be known for that because we're all in. We have nothing else. So there is one way to live, and it can be all about you, but there's another way. And I hope you hear the other way this morning, in which you're so free to be who you are that you don't have to preserve your reputation. You don't have to worry about your status or your power, or you're trying to be free but never actually being free. And what is that other way? Verse 13 and 14 tell us. Look at it. And it's saying this, and then we'll read it. The closer you stay to the one who purchased your freedom, the more free you will become. The further you run away from yourself as the source of all freedom and run to the one who purchased your freedom, the more free you'll become. Verse 13.